Hey all. So lately I've been going through all my designs that have been sitting around forever and revisiting them, seeing where they're at, and trying to finalize them, get them to the point where they're ready to, you know, move on to the next step of getting released. Um, and it's been awesome because some of these circuits I haven't, heard in years. So it's just kind of exciting to hear them. It's weird. It's like they're not. It's like they're because some of them I haven't heard, and so on. When I hear them, it's like, oh wow, that sounds amazing. I want one of those, and it's like, oh right, I designed that. It's like a weird detached thing going on. Anyway, and the other exciting part of it is I've learned so much since some of these since I, worked on these some of these last. So now I'm like, oh, I know how to make this like so much better, or I know how to fix this problem that I was stuck on years ago. And so it's been pretty cool. Um so one of the circuits that I'm talking about is the High Freq. I did another video on earlier prototype of this and hasn't changed that much, but I figured I had this case actually drilled out for God knows what, and I thought, oh, let me build something into that. So I decided to um, use it for the high freq. um, so what is it? It is a high frequency booster and distorter. And whereas something like the average, treble booster is something based off of a circuit that's like a range master or like a electroharmonics, like screaming tree, screaming bird circuit, where you cut the low end going into and out of the pedal, and then you boost what's left over. This, that range master type uh treble booster essentially cuts the low end, which is fine if that's what you want. If you want, to get rid of the low end and then, you know, hit your amp harder with just high end, it's fine. Tony Iommi, used that to a wonderful degree. I thought it'd be cool to just keep all the, your full frequency range and just boost just upper frequency, frequencies above a certain point. This actually came about as it was it's a preamp for another pedal design called the Gemini, which is like like an octave up frequency doubler type circuit, like super clangy. Um and this is kind of the essential part, one of the essential parts of that circuit. But then I realized it was awesome in and of itself, and then I added some other features and made it, more, just made it its own thing. Um, so you have the gain control. With this turned all the way down, the pedal just boosts all the frequencies equally. You'll actually hear it's. I can switch on the pedal now, and it doesn't sound like the pedal's on. It's that, kind of transparent and whatever. And then as you turn this up, it starts to boost frequencies above a certain cutoff point, and that cutoff point is determined by this rotary switch. Um, and in addition to just boosting it, after you raise the gain up past a certain point, it starts to distort those frequencies as well. And that's where it really starts doing something interesting, where you have this like dual tone thing going on, where it's like you have your bass frequency signal, whatever you want to call it, essentially clean, and then on top of that is this like overtone that has this excited, articulated high end to it. And you can go from just making your guitar sounds like chimier and, brighter and clearer to more extremes where it's like starts getting a little crazy. This Zills switch might not be the final name of it. This is a clipping circuit. It's like a diode clipping circuit essentially, but because it's only working, it works on your entire signal, but it only really does something intense to the boosted signal. So you'll get this, you'll hear it. It's like you'll get this weird like rattling. It sounds like a tambourine. That's why I called it Zills, because those are like the little cymbal things on a tambourine. Or it also sounds like the snares on a snare drum rattling at certain settings. And position 1 has like a higher clipping threshold, so it's less. It clips it less than position 2. Position 0 is just like an off position. So anyway, let's take a listen. As you can hear, it's a very transparent boost right now, and you can get a little bit of just boost, like that. But the main part of the pedal the reason why you're going to buy it hear, like, at the, when I crank the gain like that, there's this weird artifact to the high end. Almost has like an acoustic guitar like thing going on. It's hard to explain, but and then as I turn this up, it starts to bring down that cutoff frequency, so it starts to boost more and more of the guitars, or whatever you're having, goes more and more of the signal. It's funny when I play on this a lot and then turn it off. I'm like, wow, it sounds so like muffled and like, but it's just like it sounds so crystal clear when it's on. It's and it adds like a very like a punchiness to that boosted. It gets this on like, I think like 2 and 3. If you crank up the gain and have it, gets this. There's this resonance going on. It's just like a weird like side effect to the circuit that it hits like this resonant frequency right there, and it gets real piercing. now it's starting to boost more low end. It creates, like, at this type of setting you have it right now, it creates like this weird gatedness when you have this zills in position 2 and like, cranked, and it actually does that at other settings too. You just hear it more in this at this setting. And that's actually part of the effect of the Gemini circuit that this is the preamp for. But it gets this cool, like, like right now it sounds more like a regular overdrive, but it has like such a unique like distorted overtone, because you can still hear some of that just clean signal underneath of it. Like sidebands, deep sidebands. And pickup selection really alters the sound a lot. You can use it in a number of ways. You can use it just to make your guitar sound clearer and, more articulate, or you can take it to an extreme and make it super distorted in this unique way. And and of course, you can use this before or after another pedal to bring a whole nother universe into that pedal. Like boosting, like the treble going into the distortion pedal brings out all these like weird harmonics. Vice versa, it does something similar but different. And okay, so how does it sound on bass, right? Someday I'm gonna have this set up so that it's a little more professional. All right, so let's start. So you can hear that it doesn't cut any low end. love when my pedals have like their own special life on, between on guitar versus on bass, and but you know what I mean, like it's just gets this like real like clangy kind of grindy. Real punchy. Reminds me of a particular like bass tone. I just can't think of. It's a cool pedal because it's something you can like just leave on as like your regular always on kind of tone, and then build on top of that. Or you can just get weird and see, it's position 3 that really gets that resonance. Anyway, so that's the High Freq. I'll release it someday. I'm going through, like I said, finalizing all these circuits so that they're like ready for like the next phase of releasing them. And now I'm kind of at this point where I'm deciding which one's the prototype, so that I can, feel comfortable with getting a PCB design for it. And I really want to like release a ton of shit this year. Like I'm so sick of not having these. It's ridiculous that these designs have taken this long. It's just, whatever. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna probably sell this. So if anybody's interested in it, let me know. At some point, I'll put it out officially. But if someone wants one in the meantime, I would certainly build one at least like this, without the frills. So, all right. Thanks, y'all.